Hey, yo everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video, and today we're going to be doing some questions and answers. So where you guys have the opportunity to ask me questions, and I do the best I can to give you guys good answers. Now, remember, there's no such thing as a stupid question. You guys can ask me anything, except for who is the best captain in all of Starfleet. I think we all know that's Captain Jean-Luc Picard. So with that said, we're just going to jump right into the questions because there are a lot of questions that we have to get through today. And for those of you that haven't seen any of my question and answer videos, these are very informal videos. I just kind of chill and relax and I go through the questions. In addition to that, I really haven't read any of the questions. I mean, I kind of glazed over them just to see how many questions I had, but I really don't know the questions you guys asked. So whatever I give you as an answer is the answer that comes right to my head. So, in saying that, let's just get right into it. First and foremost, and I'm going to go in the order that the questions were given. What do you think of Resident Evil 6? I'm generally excited for Resident Evil 6, and I think the main reason why I'm excited for Resident Evil 6 is Leon S. Kennedy. Leon's my favorite character. I'm intrigued with what they're trying to do with Ada Wong. Um, I'm also intrigued that they brought Sherry Birkins in. I really don't give two lickings about Chris Redfield, though. It's been a while since I cared about Chris Redfield. I liked him in the Resident Evil remake game, or the original Resident Evil, and I liked him in Code Veronica, but I really haven't liked him since. So I'm really more or less interested in Leon. The gameplay looks to be a little bit more akin to Resident Evil 5, where it's going to be that action survival gameplay, which I'm fine with. Resident Evil is a constantly evolving game series, so hey, that's fine. Next question: what are the best pre-Crisis on Infinite Earths Batman trades besides Chronicles and Showcase Presents series? Which of the top 5 Legend of Dark Knight series trades, Prey, Venom, Shaman, etc.? Which are your favorite animated movies, and what are the best Batgirl trades? All Batgirls. Oh my. Okay, pre-Crisis on Infinite Earth Batman trades. That's actually kind of a tough question because there's not that many stuff that has been collected outside the Showcase Presents and the Chronicle series. So if one that comes right to mind is probably Batman Strange Apparitions. I think that's one of the few. Most of the stuff before Crisis on Infinite Earths was not collected in trade, or if they are, the trades are kind of rare. So if you want to do something outside of those, do Strange Apparitions is a really good trade, one of my favorites. What are my top 5 Legend of the Dark Knight series or trades? Uh, Number 1 is Prey, then Shaman. I liked Terra. I'm just sifting through them now. Um, Surprisingly, Other Realms was pretty fun. It was completely bogus and different from all the others, but I really did like it. Um, what was the last one? I would have to say Batman Legend of the Dark Knights and Other Legends is the one that deals with the Cavalier and, so on and so forth. So I think Batmite was one of the stories. So that small collection was pretty good too. Which is your favorite animated movies? Is that DC or just in general? In general, I would have to say, oh, well, that's tough. That's tough. I can say some of my favorite animated movies, like I liked Hercules and Aladdin from Disney. Um, Digimon, the first movie, was great. Mass Phantasm and Under the Red Hood were fun movies too. It's That's a tough question. I also watched Professor Layton and the Eternal Diva, and that was a great movie. Um, so I think that's so broad of a question. I don't know if I can give you because I had different movies that I like in anime. Like in my childhood, growing up, Digimon was my favorite movie. But I like different movies now that I'm older. But I still have a special place in my heart for those movies. So yeah. What are the best Batgirl trades? All Batgirls. Pretty simple. Get the Cassandra Cain run. All the Cassandra Cain trades. Because they're all pretty damn good. Other than that, Showcase presents Barbara Gordon's. pretty decent. It's old and it's campy, but it's pretty decent. And then I do recommend the 2 or 3 Stephanie Brown trades. The great thing about Batgirl is you can get pretty much all the trades, and it would be a small collection. What is my favorite Batgirl trade? Um, hmm, it would probably be the first Stephanie Brown trade. Um, Who is Batgirl? I think it's Who is Batgirl, but yes. So anyway, that was a big question. Moving on. Hey, just found your channel is great. I subscribed right away. Well, thank you. I just got into comics for the first time a month ago. I bought Court of the Owls hardcover and the rest of the Batmans 8 through 11. You said that you collected them all, but could you please give us an idea of which ones you think are essential? I don't think I can keep up with them all, but I want to get a few other ones. Can you give your opinions on the rank of importance? Thanks. Keep up the great videos. No, thank you. Um, when you mean collect all of them, do you mean Batman stuff or do you mean DC New 52 in general? For Batman stuff, if I could give you 5 Batman titles that you should get if you're focusing just on Batman, Batman, Nightwing, Batgirl, Batman and Robin, and the last one I will give to Red Hood and the Outlaws. I like Red Hood. It's fun. It's different. It's not really Batman. It's a Batman family book, but it doesn't feel Batman family. If you want New 52 in Journal, if I had to give 5, Batman, Wonder Woman, Swamp Thing, uh, Aquaman, and Flash. Those are the ones to get. You can maybe take out Aquaman and put Animal Man in there, depending if you like Swamp Thing a lot. But that's for the New 52. I hope that answered your question. Moving on. Hey, yo, Andrew. Bryce here, bringing you a question for your Q&A. That's pretty clever. I recently started reading comics a month ago, and I am currently reading Batman, Aquaman, and Flash. I've always been a fan. I've always been a DC fan and a huge Batman fanboy. My question is this: I want to pick up Justice League New 52, but I haven't got the chance yet, and I was just wondering, am I really missing out by not reading? And yes, I'm a big Justice League fan. Justice League may not be the be all end all of the New 52. I would say it's definitely in the top 10, but I wouldn't say it's in the top 5 as I just gave kind of the top 5 there. Um, are you missing out? The thing you have to understand about Justice League is Justice League, the comic for the New 52, it's like a summer blockbuster movie. It's not pushing the boundaries of any script or any story or any characters, but everything falls into place very nicely. The action is good, the character interactions are fun, the characters themselves are fun. Um, I would say you are kind of missing out. I enjoy Justice League every time I pick it up. It's one of my favorite titles from the New 52. Has spectacular art, and it's really the best interpretation of the Justice League I think thus far. So if you're a Justice League fanboy, go out and get it. Okay. Oh God, sorry about that. Hey Andrew, I was just wondering, what are your thoughts on the possibility of Scott Lobdell writing Tim Drake as never being Robin but only Red Robin? Also, I don't know if you watched the Teen Titans cartoon show, but I have been watching the episodes again. I was wondering, what would you think if Red X became a part of the main DC universe? Well, first to your first question, I think it'd be silly if Tim Drake was never Robin beforehand. I would learn to live with it, but I think Tim Drake should be Robin. On Comic Vine, I believe, Scott Lobdell is going to explain it today, which is Monday. So, um, I think he screwed up when he said that. Or maybe when he said goes right to being Red Robin, he was Robin only for a short time, then jumped to being Red Robin. Who knows? But I think Tim needs to be Robin, and I think they pretty much. I mean, in Batman issue #1, they even said Robin. So I think Scott Lobdell screwed up. If not, he has some explaining to do, and I'm interested to hear the explaining. As for the Teen Titan cartoon show, I did watch it. Maybe not all the episodes, but Red X. I mean, it would be interesting. It would need it. It all depends on how it was written. Anything can work if it's written well. If the Red X character is written well in the, let's say, the Teen Titans comic, it doesn't even have to be Teen Titans, but it probably fall best there. You really need to work out the kinks and adapt it for the comic book universe, but it could work. There's no doubt that it could work. What are the best trades in the New 52? to get into: Batman, Batman Family, Night of the Owls. So of the Batman, if you're getting Batman trades, and you want to focus on Batman, Batman Family stuff, Night of the Owls. Night of the Owls covered everything, unless you get everything, or they collect the whole Night of the Owls in one trade. Um, it's kind of like what I said beforehand. You know, you can pick and choose what you want, but I think essentials are Batman, are must-haves. Nightwing is a must-have. Batman Robin is really good. I think Batgirl is something, although it hasn't always been perfectly written, it's something that you should get. And from there, you can go from anywhere. Catwoman's a pretty good place to go. Although it's not perfect, it's a pretty good place to go. I said Red Hood and the Outlaws I enjoy, but it's not really a Batman family book. It's a completely different book. I mean, it is Batman family, but it's completely different. I've been loving Birds of Prey also. I really have been loving Birds of Prey. So I would say get, Batman, Batman Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, and then any other Batman book you choose. Either Red Hood and the Outlaws, Black Canary, Birds of Prey. I almost said Black Canary. And Catwoman. One of those three. Whatever sounds good to you. Flag to spam. Okay. What are your thoughts on the Green Lantern comics? How are you liking the direction? And if DC and Jeff Johns came to you and asked for suggestions, what would you say? P.S. I enjoy your videos. What do I think of the Green Lantern comics? It's kind of funny because my opinions are going to be different from a lot of other people. I like the Green Lantern's main title the most. I think it's the best. It's good. It's not the best Green Lantern has done, but I really like the Sinestro stuff. I like Sinestro as a character. My guilty pleasure, my second favorite, and I fully admit it's a guilty pleasure because it's not a perfect comic, but it's Red Lanterns. The comic itself is not perfect by any means. It's not going to win any awards, or and I wouldn't be surprised if it got canceled in the future. But it is a fun comic. I do enjoy it. And that's the thing. It's a completely different comic and doesn't conform to the norm of Green Lantern. So I enjoy Red Lanterns. I think New Guardians is good, but I think I will enjoy it more once they do the roster change where Atrocitus, LaFreeze, and Carol Ferris join their respective areas or their respective core colors. And I just haven't. I've read only the first two issues of Green Lantern Corps. It didn't do enough to grab me. I wish I could read the rest, but it's a little far past that time to pick up the comics. It happens. So, yeah. And if they had asked me for suggestions, what would I say? The only thing that I really think needs to be done, this is what I would say. One is I think Carol Ferris, as a Star Sapphire, should get her own comic. We don't have any strong female lanterns doing their own single thing. Carol Ferris should be having her own comic. Not part of Green Lantern New Guardians, although she can be part of it, but have her own comic. Oh, I did say breakfast, so I'm a little burpy. Sorry. I would also say get rid of the Guardians of the Galaxies and have the Green Lanterns be in charge of the Green Lantern Corps. Have like a Green Lantern council, which is constantly rotating. Oh, bloody hell. I think that was it of it. So yeah, that's what I would do. Carol Ferris have her own comic, and then get rid of the Guardians and have the Green Lanterns be in charge. So next is, hey Andrew, what's up? I have 3 questions. What are your thoughts on Metal Gear Solid? When did you buy your first car? Oh, what? When did you have your first car? And besides martial arts training, what do you do to stay in shape? Do you lift weights or anything else? Well, first, Metal Gear Solid. I haven't really played them. I played a bit of them. Uh, I kind of wish I could get a Metal Gear Solid, but they're too lengthy of games for me. So as of now, I'm gonna have to say I really don't have much of an opinion. I respect the games, but I don't play them. My assistant manager is obsessed with them. We constantly get into gentleman arguments about them. So I'll leave it at that. When did I have my first car? My first car was a 1992 Mercury Sable, which was a shitbox, and I loved it to death. I name all my stuff. Like my GPS is named Farah after the character from Prince of Persia. My car right now is named Drusilla, from Angel and Buffy. My old car I named Charmel, which was Booker T's wife, because I loved Charmel when she came out and she'd go, "Oh, hail King Booker!" So I forget when I got my first car. I think I got it. I got a senior year of high school, so that was what, 2005? Yeah, 2005 I got my first car. So there you go. I've only had two cars. And besides martial arts, what do I do to stay in shape? I lift weights and I go running, but I haven't run as much recently because for some reason my ankles have been hurting. So I've been doing a lot of I've been doing more weightlifting than running. What I'm going to do is once I get a full-time job, or maybe even before that, I'm going to join a gym because I weightlift at home. But the problem is the weights we have aren't heavy enough. I need to get heavier weights because my chest and my abdomens are big. They're more muscular than my arms, so I need to get my arms big because my arms aren't really too big, and I need to get really back into shape. I'm going to join a gym, but I do weightlift and I do run from time to time. A lot of my cardio is either running or it's from doing karate. I do suicide drills like crazy in karate. My teacher, Masanote, he's one of the top two people of our schools, and he does a lot of tests. And all the stuff he does to torture people during the test, he experiments on me. So it'll be like, okay, I want to do this drill where we're gonna have you stay on one leg and you're gonna just kick 20 kicks with that leg without putting down, and then you're gonna do it in reverse afterwards, and you can't touch it. You're gonna do this, and he's like, I'm just gonna do that, and I enjoy them to death. Those drills that people hate when they go into tests, I love. I love them to death. I love when he gives me memory drills. Like we'll start off, okay, do front knuckle punch, okay, then do thrust punch, well, do front knuckle, then do front knuckle thrust, and then you keep adding to it. So then you're doing front knuckle thrust, ridge hand, two finger poke, hammer strike, and then you do like 20 of those strikes, and then you do them all in reverse, and then you add feet in there, and I love that stuff. I'm sorry, I kind of got off on a tangent, but I love working at karate because it's a lot more interactive and a lot more fun. If you could create a new comic book character, what would that be? Is it in the confines of the DC universe, or do I get to do anything? Let's say it's in the confines of the DC universe. Might be safer if I do that. Well, I never really thought about this. If I could create a character, a new comic book character, what would it be? I don't know if this might be cheating the answer a bit, but if I was in control of a cyborg comic, I would create a Diesel cast of characters to go with Cyborg. I would create a best friend love interest. I would create a tactician that would help out with Cyborg. But you know, that's tough. Creating a new combo characters. I think any new combo characters I would create would be supporting characters. But I think supporting characters are really where a lot of good characterization comes from for the main characters because they get to bounce off those characters. So I think I would add really good supporting characters. If you want like a traditional superhero flying through the sky, shooting rainbows out of his butt kind of superhero, I don't know any superheroes that shoot rainbows out of their butts, but hey, whatever. Um, you know what? I would actually create a campy, not campy, but kind of a serial character, similar to a mix between Doc Savage, Adam Strange, and like Flash Gordon in a way, where the character would be a human misplaced on a planet. The planet is let's say we're in the Alpha Quadrant, like Star Trek terms. It would be way off in the Delta Quadrant, so far away from the main DCU, but he would just have adventures on the planet. Actually, it would be a mix between Adam Strange, Doc Savage, Flash Gordon, and John Carter, Warlord of Mars, or whatever, depending on what name you want to go by. The movie, the comic, or the actual book. But I would want to make something like that. That's an absolute ridiculous adventure character. But I think on a whole, I'd rather work with. I wouldn't want to create a new comic character unless I was allowed to create a comic book based off my D&D characters. Then I would love that because if I interpreted my Dungeons and Dragon characters and the stories that we've done and tweaked them up a little and made them more comic book friendly, I would have probably minimum 10 years worth of stories I could tell with those characters just from what we played thus far. So yes, moving on. Unless I could create those characters, my D&D characters, I would rather be playing with existing characters. 3 questions. Why do you not collect Marvel? I get this like every Q&A. What's your top 5 Batman characters? And how can I get into Swamp Thing? Okay, so first, why do I not collect Marvel? One is Marvel and DC had two different philosophies. I like DC's philosophies more than Marvel's. DC believes in looking up to the superheroes that you read and having comic books that embrace their superhero heritage, where Marvel has more realistic comic book characters and more realistic comic book themes. They're characters that you can relate to. Neither of them are right or wrong. I just prefer DC's more. I prefer DC's characters more. I find them more enjoyable. And money. If I had extra money, sure, I'd pick up Marvel. But, I love DC, so I'm picking that up pretty much almost exclusively, with the exception of Buffy, Angel, and TMNT. What are my top favorite Batman characters? Batman would be number one. Number two would be Dick Grayson. Number three would be Catwoman. Number four would be Jason Todd. Number five would probably be Barbara or Cassandra Cain. Probably Barbara. So there you go. And how can I get into Swamp Thing? What's it about? Anything I have to know before picking up a new issue? I recommend picking up the trade that's going to be coming out if you can't find the first 12 issues. If you can't get the first 12 issues, get the trade. You can probably get the issues online. Buy the issues online. You don't need to know anything about Swamp Thing going into it if you pick up issue number one or pick the first trade, because pretty much everything's explained to you. And what's Swamp Thing about? It is a horror comic, for lack of a better term. It's a horror monster comic that deals with life and death and many different other themes. It's really a big departure from the normal DCU, but it's a great departure. And you get to see Superman fly in there every once in a while, but it's really its own comic and it does a very good job at it. So I recommend it. It's the second or third best comic from the new 52. Hey Andrew, my question is the IDW TMNT comics worth picking up if they are better than the original Mirage comics? Yes and yes. I'm gonna do what I am thinking about TMNT and talk about the first year of the new comics. Is the best interpretation of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles thus far. Pick it up, get it. Hey Andrew, I want to ask your thoughts on the upcoming Green Lantern story arc where Hal is going to go MIA and Baz, or I think that's his name, is the person actually wrote, I think that's his name, is taking over. Do you think Hal is the right choice to be replaced, and if so, why? I'm sure Hal's not going to be gone forever. He's only going to be gone for the story arc. And what do I think of the story? Um, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on it right now. I'm looking forward to the third army story arc, but I don't really have too much of an opinion on it. It's not like I'm overly excited for it, but I'm not looking forward to it. I think I just don't have any investment in it, if that's fair to say. I think it will be fun because Jeff Johns always does good stuff, especially with Green Lantern. But I want my Hal Jordan and my Sinestro back when we can. So I hope that answered your question. If you could have Jason Todd in a relationship with anyone from the DCU, who would it be and why? And if Superman and Goku normal form fought, who would win? So the question is Kryptonian or Saiyan? No, you can't do Kryptonian or Saiyan because Goku is a far stronger Saiyan than any of the other Saiyans minus Vegeta and the half Saiyans of Earth like Gohan and Gotenks. If you're gonna say that, you're gonna have to say Goku. In addition to that, you can't say Kryptonian or Saiyan because Kryptonians on Krypton are substantially weaker than the one Kryptonian Superman on Earth. So let's just stick to Superman versus Goku, shall we? Okay. First question: if I had Jason Todd in a relationship with anyone from the DCU, who and why? Never given that much thought. The character would have to be damaged mentally like Jason Todd because I think it would just work better with Jason. It either has to be someone very damaged like Jason Todd or the exact opposite, someone very stable. I don't think there's anyone out there very stable that would want to deal with Jason Todd's shenanigans. Someone damaged that could be with Jason Todd. I don't know. Jason Todd's a tough one to hit with a love interest. I think Jason Todd wouldn't want to have a love interest because he's too busy being Jason. But if I had to pick someone, um, I mean, this is kind of cliche, but first of all, Cassandra Cain could be a possibility. They're both very heavily damaged individuals. I don't think it would work that well. I think it would be more of a fling, but that's it. I mean, Starfire is a possibility. They've had something, not had something, but they have a friendship in the current DCU. So it's tough. Wow, that's a good question. I guess my default answer is going to be Starfire. Mostly because they've had an interesting relation right now in the DCU. But when it comes down to it, that's tough. uh, that's my answer. I'll go with Starfire or someone damaged like Cassandra Cain or nah, not her. Forget I said anything. And Superman versus Goku normal form. Superman. I think Superman would be able to beat Goku almost any forms. Why? Because Goku is, for all of his strengths and abilities, are not as I mean, with the exception of the instant transmission, it's not as fast as Superman. He doesn't have the defensive capabilities of Superman. Superman is nigh invulnerable. Goku can get stabbed by a knife and still get stabbed. And lastly, Superman is substantially stronger. And the thing that makes Superman guaranteed to win over Goku are two things. One, is Goku takes a half hour to charge up. You go, oh, oh. Superman could just kill him right away. Second of all, is Superman's powers are at a set level. Goku's down here, and will take him time to progress up to Super Saiyan level 3 and even 4. The amount of time it would take him to get there, Superman's already stronger, and he can hit him strong and hit him fast. Um, and plus, Superman, if he's near the sun, Superman can charge up to ridiculous levels. Goku's never moved planets before. Superman has. Superman. That's one of the things everyone's like, oh, who would win, Superman and Goku? You gotta understand, Superman's faster and stronger than Goku in every way, with the exception of the instant transmission. But I don't think Goku's allowed to spam that. I think they said in the series that there's some reason why he can't spam that. Have you taken a look at comics coming out from Image, such as Saga, Mind's Eye, Walking Dead, Fatality, etc., etc.? Does your fiance read any comics? Try any that you recommend. What does she think about them? About comic books in general. First question: have I tried anything from IDW? I came close to buying Saga. I came close, and I probably should have because everything's out of print now, but I didn't. Sorry, guys. Uh, I'm so sorry. I just had breakfast and gotta get my food in right away because if I don't, then I'll forget about it. But I might be picking up the Walking Dead trades because everyone's making a big deal of it. So I might be picking up the trades. I think I'm going to be borrowing them from one of my coworkers. So I might be doing that. Other than that, I don't think I have anything I'm going to get from IDW other than the TMNT stuff that I get. Does my fiance read any comics? Um, no, she's not a comic book fan. Um, she and I together read Supergirl and Flash up to like issue 9, but she's not a comic book fan, so she really doesn't she doesn't read unless I read with her. Um, what does she think about them? She has no opinion either which way. I mean, she loves Superman. Whenever she says she likes the television shows and the movies. Like she was pumped to go see Dark Knight Rises, but she will not sit with me to read a Batman comic for the life of me. She's fallen asleep when we read Batman comics before. She just doesn't like the media of comic books. She likes the characters to a degree. Like she loves Superman. She loves Superman. Like last night we were watching Lois and Clark: New Adventures of Superman. She loves Superman, but she can't read the comics. So the characters she doesn't mind, but the comic book she's not into. Okay, next. Who's my favorite Robin? Dick Grayson. Period. Is Dick. You should check out Vertigo's Punk Rock Jesus. Awesome book. That's not a question. That's a comment. Are there any Marvel characters you find interesting? If so, why? I find Captain America interesting because I think he's the best patriotic character that has been in comic books. But also, there hasn't been too many well done patriotic characters. But I find him interesting because of that. I find Thor interesting because I like mythology characters. That's one of the reasons why I'm attracted to Wonder Woman because of Greek mythology. I think they have a good balance with Thor as a character. Uh, who else? Who else? You know, the X-Men, but not as much as you may think. Um, yeah, it's really kind of those two. Thor and Captain America, I think, are the two most interesting for me. I mean, I could say Wolverine. I loved Wolverine when I was a kid, but right now I just don't give two lickings about him. But, you know, maybe I haven't also been reading comic books for Marvel for years, so you never know. Maybe Wolverine has changed and I started to like him again. You never know. But we won't know because I'm not going to be picking up Marvel. Sorry. So, going from that point on, oh, pretty freaking crazy how much I'm gassing up or belching up. Who do you think should join the Suicide Squad? Catman. Well, Captain Boomerang, but I think Captain Boomerang returned. I've only read up to issue 6. No, I read up to issue 7. So I have issue 8 coming in the mail, which should be coming tomorrow, and then I'll read up to issue 12. Could you do a review on Image's Saga? I don't read it, so I can't review it. Do you think Cyborg would be able to hold his own comic? Yes, but you have to make Cyborg's comic stand out in every other comic. I think Cyborg would be a great patriotic hero. And a character that would be great with teaming up with other characters every so comic. I have in my head a 2-year plan for Cyborg. If I ever got picked up by DC, I could give them 2 years worth of comics right off the bat. Uh, I think Cyborg's an incredibly strong character who's underutilized. So I think, yeah, he could hold his own comic, but it can't just be traditional superhero. It has to have some kind of hook. I think him being kind of that patriotic hero, because his emblem, he's even have the American flag in it. When you see him, he's holding the American flag a lot. I think Cyborg would be a great patriotic hero. Kind of, I think if you did things right, you could make him like a mix between Iron Man and Captain America, the Iron Patriot. But no. But in all seriousness, you could do that. I think it would be cool. How long ago did you start collecting Batman graphic novels, and what age were you? I've always been collecting comics, but I got graphic novels when I was like 17, so probably back then. My story of comics is this: I collected issues when I was younger. Then I stopped comics for a bit because I was more into video games. Got back into comics around age 17, 18. Got trades and stuff, and then I just been collecting stuff since. So, yeah. What's your rank in karate? My big is Z 1 degree black belt in Kempo. Kimpo. Did you mean to say Kempo? Kimpo karate, and brown belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I am a 4th degree black belt in Shaolin American Kempo karate, certified instructor. So, yeah, I've been taking it for, oh God, I was 9 when I started. So, I'm 25 now. Do the math. That's, what, 15 years, 16 years? So I've been taking it for a long time. I've often considered taking other styles on the side too, but money just doesn't permit it. But yeah, if there's something I'm committed to more than anything else in the world, I mean, other than, my fiance, but it's karate. Karate is my life. It is the thing I enjoy the most. I love it more than comics. I love it more than video games. I love it more than anything. It's my ultimate enjoyment, and I commit a lot to it. So yeah, I'm a 4th degree black belt. I'm interested in picking up Batman Gotham related comics, but I can't afford. I can only afford one. Which of these might you recommend? Just in terms of relevance to Batman Gotham characters. Uh, Batwoman, Batwing, Suicide Squad, or World's Finest. Batwing is set mostly in Africa. Suicide Squad really isn't a Batman book. World's Finest isn't either. That's about Huntress and Power Girl, you know, playing hooky from Earth 2. So your best bet is Batwoman. Batwoman has a very Legends of the Dark Knight feel to it. What are your top 5 fictional characters, and what are your thoughts on the Man of Steel movie? Top 5 fictional characters of all time, in no particular order, but it'll be these: Batman, Link from Legend of Zelda, specifically Skyward Sword Link, Luke Skywalker, Captain Jean-Luc Picard, I don't know if you can count The Rock as a fictional character, so I'm not going to count him. Uh, and then lastly, Wonder Woman. Yeah. So Batman, Link from Skyward Sword, Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Luke Skywalker, more or less extended universe Luke Skywalker, like the Thrawn trilogy and stuff, but Luke Skywalker in general, and Wonder Woman. Those are my top five. What are my thoughts on the Man of Steel series? Movie, I don't know. We've had like a trailer that we barely got to see anything. What we saw looked awesome, but it was very little. It's like, when celebrities do that like side boob thing, you see the side boob, but it's not much. What you see is fine, but it's not much. So I mean, we got the side boob of Man of Steel. So when I see more, I can tell you more. I'm looking forward to it because I really want a good Superman movie. I know you're a DC reader, but what are your thoughts on the Fantastic Four? I love them, but I realize they aren't the most popular group in comics. Actually, I'm with you. I love the Fantastic Four. They're probably pound for pound my favorite Marvel team. I like the idea of them. They're kind of for me, a mix between the challenges of the unknown in the Justice League in a way. I like the dynamic of the groups. I like the concepts and the stories that they do, the powers that they have. Um, I like the Fantastic Four. I'm one of the few people that actually like the Fantastic Four movies. They're incredibly flawed movies, but I do like them. So I do like the Fantastic Four. If I, if let's say Marvel for whatever reason, Marvel decided to reboot like DC did with the New 52, like fully committed, not Marvel now, but fully committed. The comics I would pick up is Captain America, an X-Men title, and the Fantastic Four, because I like the Fantastic Four. Uh, would I? Okay, two questions. Which comics from the New 52 do you recommend? And I got a wrestling question on you. Who would win, Rock versus CM Punk? I kind of said this before. There's a lot of things I would recommend for the New 52. But, at the top, I'm just going to throw out some titles right now, are comics that I think you should get. Batman and Swamp Things are definites, and Wonder Woman is a definite also. Aquaman, Flash, Animal Man, Aquaman, Flash, Animal Man, Justice League. Hold on one sec. Phone's ringing. One sec. Sorry about that. I had to get the phone. Because you never know. It could be a job opportunity, but it wasn't. Okay, where was I? I was on the A question. So, comics I recommend from the New 52. I'm going to throw them out there. But Batman, Swamp Thing, Animal Man, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, Justice League Dark, I, Vampire, All-Star Western, Demon Knights. Those are, I think, the things that you should go do first. Okay? So, again, Batman, Aquaman, Flash, Wonder Woman, Swamp Thing, Animal Man, Justice League Dark, Justice League, I, Vampire, All-Star Western, and Demonettes. Those are 11 titles that kind of cover broad areas of the DCU. You should check out those titles. Must-haves are Wonder Woman, Batman, and Swamp Thing. Who do I think would win in a fight? Rock versus Rock. It can be Rock versus anyone. Rock. They're playing Rock versus CM Punk for WrestleMania. WWE is probably going to have it that CM Punk wins. But who should win? Who is the better? Who would win under any normal circumstances and wasn't part-time? Rock. 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 Let's look at Rock's accolades. 7-time WWE champion. He beat Stone Cold, beat John Cena, beat Hulk Hogan at the biggest events of them all. Has multiple records, including the quickest WWE matchup of all time of 3 seconds, which he won. I could go on and on. 2-time Intercontinental Champion, 5-time Tag Team Champion, a 2000 Royal Rumble winner, 2-time WCW Champion. I mean, I could go on and on. Rock's accolades are ridiculous. He has defeated every wrestler he's ever fought, minus Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. And people will say, well, John Cena's 11-time champion. Yeah, that means he's lost the title 11 times. I like CM Punk. I think CM Punk is a great wrestler. I think he's great as a heel. And I look forward to CM Punk in Rock at WrestleMania. If anyone deserves a rub from The Rock, it would be CM Punk. I do not want to see Rock versus Cena again. It's not necessary. But if Rock was to leave wrestling, and he had a title and he had to drop it to someone, I'd be okay with CM Punk. Give a rub to CM Punk, that's fine. But who do I think the better of the two is, and who would win in a match under normal circumstances? Rock, plain, flat, and simple. If you dress as a superhero and fight crime, would you dress as a superhero and fight crime if your fiance told you to? She wouldn't do that. I'll pull one of hers. She wouldn't say that and just not give you the answer. One of the things she likes to do is I'll give a hypothetical situation. I'll say to her like, "Hun, what would you rather do? Would you rather uh, fight me or fight Rob Van Dam?" And she'd be like, "That would never happen." I'd be like, "Yeah, but if by some reason it ever happened, would you do it?" She, "No, that would never happen." But honey, it's a hypothetical question. I know it's not going to happen. I'm asking you what would happen if you thought it happened. Not going to happen. I'm not going to answer it because it's not going to happen. She's so funny that way. Would I? No. I would think my fiance is losing her mind. Would it be fun being a vigilante and going out there and fighting crime? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But no, no, I would never. Is this a stupid question? Yes. Asking if it's a stupid question is a stupid question. Just kidding. Real question. Have you read Mad Love comic that tells Harley Quinn's origin story? I've read bits and pieces of it, not all the way through though. If you were a superhero, what would you call yourself and what would your insignia be? I would take the name of my character that I play in D&D and my name would be Angelus because that's the name of the character that I play in D&D, which is Latin for angel, which a lot of people are saying, "Well, you stole that from Angel the TV show because you love that TV show." No, actually I thought it was just a good name so I went with it. So Angelus, and my emblem would be like really cool wings on the chest. In a zombie apocalypse, what would you use as a close range weapon, and what would you use as a long range weapon? See, and when you have to think of zombies, generally zombies decap or enough trauma to the head kill zombies. Now you want a weapon for close range that has some reach, but not too much reach. That has that's reliable and that is pretty simple to wield. A bludgeon weapon would probably be best. I mean, you could say knife. Knife is very versatile and one of the most dangerous weapons, but at the same time, that brings you a little too close for comfort. One person would say sword, but if you got too in close, if the zombies close the distance too much, the sword is useless. So a club of some sort and a screamer stick of some sort. Metal, maybe a bat or something. Some kind of bludgeon club weapon would work well as a close range weapon. Because if they get too close, the club can still provide you with some wiggle room. You can bunt, you can block, you can use it as close range. Whereas if you had a sword, you couldn't. And it's reliable. You just bash the zombie off the head enough, they screw up with their brains. Again, it depends. Are we using magical zombies or are we using like virus zombies? Either way, enough trauma to the head or decap is what kills them. What would be my long range weapon? That's pretty tough. Um, Shotgun's not really long range. I mean, it depends. How much bullets do I have? If I'm conserving bullets, then a pistol would probably be best. Uh, if I have infinite bullets, then machine gun. But yeah, so that I would have to say if long range. Actually, if I was to do a long range weapon, I take that back. A slingshot, a power slingshot, because slingshot's ammunition. You can put anything on that slingshot, and people underestimate there are slingshots out there that are ridiculously illegal that can like go through people's heads, which they have enough force behind them. I may not be as fast with a slingshot than I would be with something like a pistol or a gun. However, the slingshot itself would provide me more ammunition. I wouldn't have to be so scarce. If I see a rock on the ground, boom, boom. So slingshot and let's go with baseball bat. That's a good one. Okay, if you could handle a Wonder Woman movie, how would you handle Wonder Woman movie if you directed it? I would handle it very well. No, first and foremost is with a Wonder Woman movie, I would have it. She's already Wonder Woman. She's been around for a month or so. I would briefly, no more than 15 minutes out of the movie, go over her origin. People would talk about it. We would get bits and pieces of who she is and where she's from. Maybe a news report saying Princess Diana Themyscira came over to help man's world with the wars and stuff being raging. Uh, it would there would be a lot of personal conflicts in it. A lot of I think I would do a lot of yeah, I would do a lot of personal conflict. It would be a very actiony movie, But I think what I would do with Wonder Woman that make her stand out is she would be very moral based. Her choices that she makes in movies are going to be heavy moral choices. And the villain I would choose would probably be either Cersei or Ares, because I think those are, or Cersei and Ares. But I would go with that. What comics would you like to be see added to the New 52? I think I said this before, but Cyborg comic, a Fourth World comic, written by Grant Morrison, art by done by Alex Ross. That would be awesome. A Red Robin comic would be nice, but we already have too many Batman books, so maybe not. So I'm gonna retract that statement. Sorry. Um, okay, I'm just going against what I just said. A Cassandra Cain book of some sort. Um, and let's say one more comic. I want Wildcats. No, I want Outsiders. I want the Outsiders. Give me the Outsiders. I can make the Outsiders and the X-Men of the DCU. DC, I'm talking to you. Give me the Outsiders. I could rock the world with the Outsiders. I have, if I had 2 years worth, or if I had 2 years worth of cyborg plans, I have like 6 years worth of stuff I can do with the Outsiders. And I would take characters like Black Lightning, Voodoo, Grifter, and Grace Chow, and I could just and a few others, and I could just rock the world with the Outsiders. Moving on. If Bruce Wayne is permanently killed in one of the DC mains continuities, who would you think is the best choice to replace him as Batman? Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, or Damian Wayne? And why would said person be the best choice? Dick Grayson. Why? Dick Grayson's the best fighter of the bunch. He's arguably the best detective. I know a lot of Tim Drake fans would go against me on that, but I think Dick is still a better detective. Dick is more experienced, and Dick is the smartest. He's plain, flat, and simple. Dick is smart. Dick is the superior in almost every way. Dick's also been with Bruce longer than anyone, and he understands what it means to be Batman, and he's been Batman twice. He knows what it means to be the Dark Knight. Plain, flat, and simple. I mean, Tim would be an okay choice if he was older, but I think the problem with Tim is that he doesn't have the flexibility. Tim's problem is he's very similar to Bruce in that he doesn't have the flexibility that Dick does. I think Dick has a little bit more flexibility in his personality, and I think Dick is a little bit more stable of a person, which is funny because Batman's a very unstable individual. But I would go with Dick. Who do you like better, Flash or Green Lantern, and why? Green Lantern. I love them both a lot. They're both within my top 7 favorite superheroes of all time, or top 10. But I would have to say Green Lantern. 1, because of the costume. 2, because I love the powers. And 3, I said this before, I'll say it again. Hal Jordan is I live vicariously through Hal Jordan. I think one of the things that attracts me to Hal Jordan is that he's in the opposite of me. Where I like to stay back and look at situations and figure out the best course of action, Hal Jordan just goes in head first. Where I am kind of a person that, I believe in relationships playing it calm and kind of being with one person. He's like a cowboy going out there and, going crazy with all these women. Where I like to believe level-headed and logic. Hal Jordan's very emotional and hot-headed, and it's fun to live vicariously through a character that's completely different from you. And in that, I think there's a lot of rewarding qualities to Hal. I love Barry Allen a lot. I really do. Actually, Barry's one of my favorite characters of all time. But I think I like Hal a little bit more, and I just like Green Lantern a little bit more. What are the best Batman family titles besides Batman Detective Comics and Batman Robin, Batman Inc., and Batman The Dark Knight? For best to worst. What are the top 5 Robin trades? Okay, best Batman family titles besides besides the Bruce Wayne titles, best Batman family titles. If I had to rank them, it would be Nightwing, Red Hood and the Outlaws, number 2. Number 3 would probably be Batgirl. Number 4 would be Birds of Prey. Number 5 would be Catwoman. So Nightwing, Red Hood and the Outlaws, Batgirl, Birds of Prey, Catwoman. What are the top 5 Robin trades? Flying Solo, Tragedy and Triumph, Oh God. I don't have my Robin trades out right now. A Lonely Place to Die. Um, sorry, tickle in my throat. That's tough. Flying Solo is it? No, no. I already said Flying Solo. The 1 year later one. I forget what it's called. I forget, but that one also. That's tough. Robin trades are very balanced. Stay away from like To Kill a Bird and stuff like that. Those or Days of Fire and Madness. Those aren't really good, but um, yeah, I'm sorry I didn't answer that well. But yeah, Lonely Place of Dying, Flying Solo, uh, Tragedy and Triumph. I would, and if we're talking about general Robin stuff, Batman and Robin Volume One of the New 52, and of also Grant Morrison's run were both good, and any of the Teen Titans stuff from the New Teen Titans. Uh, who do you think is better Batman writer between Paul Dini, Grant Morrison, and Scott Snyder? Oh, I think everyone knows that even though I am a 100% heterosexual male who is engaged to a female, I have a man crush on Paul Dini. We all know he's so his Batman writing is so attractive. I love you, Paul Dini. Uh, but I feel like I've been cheating on Paul Dini a lot with Scott Snyder. Let's just say there's a relationship between me and Paul Dini. I feel like Scott Snyder. For me, Paul Dini is that stable girlfriend that is she's cute, she's smart, she understands you. But here comes Scott Snyder walking in with his short skirt and his midriff and his flowy hair, and he goes, "Hey there, Andrew, I got some Batman stories for you." And I'm just like, Paul, is it okay if I read his Batman stories? So that was incredibly weird. But no, if I had, I love Paul Dini. He's Paul Dini and Scott Snyder are right now competing in my head for the top spot of Batman writer. And I put a lot of people up there, but I think Paul Dini is still beating Scott Snyder slightly. But Scott Snyder may overtake Paul Dini at some point. But I would have to say right now, Paul Dini. But give Scott Snyder another year of Batman comics, and I wouldn't doubt myself saying Scott Snyder in a year. Scott Snyder is one of the best things to happen to Batman in a long time since Paul Dini. I'll say that. No, since Paul Dini and Chuck Dixon, the best Batman writers are Dennis O'Neil, Chuck Dixon, Paul Dini, Scott Snyder, and um, oh, what's his name? Doug something. He worked with Scott Snyder a lot. You know who I'm talking about. He begins with an M. Oh, I forget. But those are the best Batman writers. Hey, could you please quickly list off Grant Morrison's run on Batman, like his main trades or comics relating to the main continuity? Thanks. Batman and Son, Batman the Black Glove, Resurrection of Ra's al Ghul, Batman R.I.P., Final Crisis, Batman and Robin Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Batman Inc., Volume 1, Batman Inc., Leviathan Strikes, and then finally the stuff he's doing right now with Batman Inc. So I hope that helps. What do I think of the Teen Titans and Young Justice cartoons? Teen Titans was a fun cartoon, and it was especially fun because I'm a huge fan of the new Teen Titans. I really liking the shorts. There's two shorts that were shown online, which I posted on my buddy's Facebook account. One is when they get Red X and they take off his mask. It's like, and Beast Boy goes, "I bet he's Jason Todd." And he takes off the mask. See, it's Jason Todd. And then they go through like a bunch of mask reveals, and finally they take off the mask, and it's like a bomb. And then Red X jumps away and he goes, "I still think you're Jason Todd," which I thought was funny. And then there's another one where they're chasing Mad Mod and they hit a time control machine and they go back in time. They go to the 80s and Starfire is like, "Really? Really? We're wearing these costumes?" She's trying to cover up. But I did like the Teen Titans cartoon because it was very new Teen Titans and it had a good sense of comedy. The Young Justice cartoon is good and it's getting better with each time. It starts off kind of rocky, but it gets better. And I do like the portrayal of Superboy in that a lot. He's probably my favorite character, which is odd because usually I flow with Dick Grayson. But I like Superboy and I like the structure of the show. I think it's a good show. Uh, Hey Andrew, I love your videos. Just wondering, how much money do you spend on comic books? Also, I know you watch WWE, but have you ever watched TNA wrestling? And what do you think about it if you have? Um, Weekly, I spend about $30 on comic books a week. That's my advice. It ranges between $20 to $30. It's a lot, but it's my advice. If I get like a $300 paycheck from both my jobs, 30 of it goes to the comics. Um, have I watched TNA wrestling? Yes. What do I think of it? Potential, but it makes so many mistakes. It makes so many of the same mistakes that WCW does. For example, why we still have Hogan and Flair and Sting and Rob Van Dam and all these old timers doing their wrestling things. I want to see AJ Styles and Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels and all these guys being wrestlers. And I feel as though their wrestling, their new talent isn't being utilized the way WWE utilizes their new talent. It's like WCW. It's all about the old timers, and that's what it's like. And then people turn Kurt Angle and Jeff Hardy are big people too that I think they use too much. And then they turn faces and heels like every 5 seconds. I remember one time Jeff Hardy turned face and heel like 6 times a year, and it just loses his impact and potential. One thing I can't say they're doing right is I do like their woman division, but besides that, I think TNA is just a lot of potential, but it just falls flat. It has good wrestling, but the stories and the characters kind of come off as boring. Okay. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. 2 questions. How do you organize your comics? Have you read Joker and Batman Noel? And if so, what did you think of it? I organize my comics in boxes, trades in my shelves. Boxes, shelves. And I have not read Batman Noel, so I can't give you a thing on it. If a ring chose you, what kind of ring would it be? Arviance, rage, will, hope, compassion, love, or feared? If I had to be honest, it would be one of two. It would be either hope or will. More likely will, but it'd be one of those two. Even though red's my favorite color, I think I'd probably get will. Because I have a ridiculous willpower. That, I mean, not to sound cocky or anything, but I will continue doing things that maybe that's stubbornness. Is there a ring for stubbornness? Is that like the Brown Lanterns? No, but it probably be willpower because I do feel as though I have a strong will. Uh, are there any villains that you sympathize with? So much that if you were in this situation, you might act the same. For me, it's Smallville's description of Lex Luthor. No, I don't think I really sympathize any villains enough that I would, if I was in their position, I would do the same thing. I mean, there's are villains I do sympathize with, but what they do is unacceptable. What's your view on insanity versus evil? Do you believe that people who perform evil does it because they're mental health or because they choose to do evil? It really depends on the situation. For someone like the Joker is insane. But for someone like Ra's al Ghul, he's plainly evil. And he knows he's evil and he's doing evil stuff. He may be doing it for a good means, a good end, but he's doing it because he's evil. How about I do it for another things? Darth Sidious, Emperor Palpatine, he is evil. He's 100% evil. He knows he's evil. He's not insane, but he does it because he's evil. But like I said, Joker he's wacky. He's evil because he's insane. So it depends on the situation. Is there a comic book that ever challenged my morals? The death of Jean DeWolf taught me that murders still deserve the best defense in court. I don't think there's anything that really tests my personal morals. Sorry. But no, I don't think there's any comic that's ever done that. I know you're not buying trades anymore. That's not true. I do buy trades here and there, but I know you're not buying trades anymore. But what 5 trades from to pick up, if you could, excluding the New 52? What are the best 10 origin trades any character? What are your thoughts on Batman Mad Love? Oh my God! So this is a lot. Let's take these one at a time, shall we? One. What 5 trades would I pick up excluding the New 52? Walking Dead, Fables, Conan, Saga, Star Wars of some sort. What are the 10 best origin stories for any characters? Batman Year One, Wonder Woman Gods and Mortals, Superman Man of Steel done by John Byrne, Green Lantern Secret Origin, uh sorry. Um Justice League Origins for the New 52. Those are 5. Um uh I'm thinking through it right now. I'll try not to keep too much on this. Batman and the Outsiders from Showcase Presents. I did like that origin for the Outsiders. 4 more. We're getting there. 4 more. No Man's Land. Well, actually, it's more Silent Night. Cassandra Cain's origin, which is kind of No Man's Land and kind of Silent Night. Kind of both. New Teen Titans, Volume 1 for the New Teen Titans. Um, Also, Showcase Presents Volume 1 of Justice League for the original Justice League origin. And one more, I would have to say... Oh, Superman, Batman, Supergirl. Origin for Supergirl. Before the New 52. What do you think of a new Booster Gold series in New 52? As much as I would love to have that, Booster Gold was failing in sales. I think Booster Gold is a good team character, and that's where he shines. So I think he should be on a team. Like Justice League International. Oh, wait. That's not going to be around anymore. You know what I mean. How has the New 52 affected sales in comic book shops, in your comic book shop? Are there any characters you feel that the New 52 has regressed or ruined? Tim Drake, Wonder Girl, etc. What are your overall impressions of the Teen Titans over the last 11 issues? And what do you think you might drop? And do you think you might drop it if it does not improve? Have your thoughts have your thoughts about giving more IDW stuff a chance, like Transformers or GI Joe, and which have been both great, like TMNT. Sorry. First question: how has the New 52 affected sales in our comic shop? Very well. Sales are up. Sales are up. Justice League, I think, is our biggest book right now, but people always come in and want to buy the New 52, so sales are up. Are there any characters I feel as though the New 52 has regressed or ruined? Catwoman. Not ruined, but regressed. Catwoman's stuff is okay in the New 52, but she was a far superior and stronger character in the previous continuity. Let me just think real quick. Going through my head. No. I was going to say Hawkman, but Hawkman is kind of still the same. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Catwoman's probably my top pick. Um, what's my overall impressions of Teen Titans over the last 11 issues? Do you think I might drop it if it does not improve? Teen Titans have been okay. I think it's just been very slow with the whole culling and stuff like that. The lineup is okay, minus Skitter. I like Solus. I like Bunker as new additions. I just don't care about Skitter, and I don't think Skitter should be a member of the team because she's just so. Put her on the Ravengers. She fits better there from aesthetic look with the whole bug thing, and the character just had no development. So I do like the new. I do like this Teen Titan team. Is it perfect? No. Is it as good as the new Teen Titans? No. Is it better than Jeff Johns? I don't know. They're about the same. Because unlike a lot of people, I wasn't a huge fanboy of the Jeff Johns Teen Titans. It was okay, but it wasn't amazing. There's a few things I would have done differently. And any other IDW stuff, it just comes down to money. There's a lot of stuff I would want to buy, but money. I kind of want to pick up The Boys, but that's Dynamite, isn't it? I collect comics for 2 reasons. I love the characters and the stories, but I also hope one day to sell them for profit. What comics post the pre 52 or post or pre 52 do you think will be valuable in the future? Also, if you had to take an educated guess at the value of the collection of comics, what would you say they'd be worth? I can give you a number, but this is a general rule of thumb that goes through in a comic store. Anything older than the 70s is worth something. What it's worth varies on the comic, but 80s oldest, but anything 70s or younger is usually considered money. As for the new 52, I don't think, it's going to be, the new 52 won't be worth anything. I mean, not for a while. It'll be 100 years before you can expect it to be expensive because everyone's buying them. So everyone's going to have a copy. And, the reason why certain comics are so rare, like Detective Comics number 27 or Action Comics number 1, is because not everyone has a copy of them anymore. Granted, they're the first appearance of, Batman and Superman. Not everyone has a copy of them anymore. There's tons of people out there that have the new Batman number 1 issue. So will they eventually be expensive? Yeah, but I wanted to hold out hope on selling them. And I don't want to discourage you, but a lot of people ask me this question in the comic store and ask the people in my comic store, and we say all the same thing. Don't hold out hope that these are going to be worth something. Are you a fanboy of Bruce Wayne or Batman? What I mean is, what I mean is, what I mean, does Batman remain your favorite hero no matter who wears the mantle? No, Bruce Wayne has to be Batman for me. Also, do you think Batman is a mask that fits Bruce Wayne, a mask that Bruce Wayne wears, or is Bruce Wayne the mask that Batman wears? Bruce Wayne's the mask that Batman wears. Bruce Wayne is the alter ego. Batman's the true persona. Are you a fanboy of Bruce Wayne? Oh wait, that was asked twice. See if we can get through these quickly because we've been on for quite a while. Do you think do you think the title of Rogue would be a title based on Rogue would be good? Do you play Kingdom Hearts for PS2 or DS? I don't play Kingdom Hearts, and I don't think Rogue is a strong enough character to have her own title. Do you think a title? Okay, you just asked that. Have you ever played Kingdom Hearts? Yeah, okay. I played Batman Arkham City, Lost Planet. I have not played, or Uncharted 3. I did not play. Um, sorry. Which are the best out of print Batman trades? How much has Batman Origins changed since the first one up to year one? Would you build a Batcave if you could? What's your favorite Joker illustration, short panel? What's your favorite Batman story you would like to see adapted into a film? Have you read Batman: The Many Deaths of Batman? Okay, first and foremost, what are the best out of print Batman trades? Batman Legacy, right there, and Batman Prodigal. Those are both out of print. I would have said Batman Prey, but they just recently reprinted it. Um, how much has Batman Origins changed? It's in its pure element the same as it was back in the day. I mean, some stuff has changed, but it's still pretty much the same origin. Details are changed here and there, but it's still parents die, becomes Batman, becomes vigilante. What's my favorite Joker illustration? My favorite Joker illustration is him holding the camera from Killing Joke. Um, what's my favorite Batman story that I'd like to see adapted to a future Batman film? Long Halloween. Um, and have I read The Many Deaths of Batman? I've no, I haven't actually. That's one of the few that I don't have because the trade was ridiculously hard to get, and it's not in continuity anymore. So who cares? You have mentioned that you like Greek mythology. Why not get into Marvel's Incredible Hercules? Because I just don't have time or money. That's the big thing. I do love Greek mythology, but I got my fix of Greek mythology from Wonder Woman, which I think does Greek mythology incredibly well. Uh, how do I get into collecting figures without paying hundreds of dollars for them? I see that online. I was wondering if you were going to pick up DC's National comic books. They started backing up. I saw that Trigon is going to show up in Phantom Stranger, so what do you think of that? I think this is also going to take place. Okay, one thing at a time. How about this? How do you get into picking out figures without paying hundreds of dollars? Get them when they come out. When they hit stores, get them. The reason why figures become so expensive is because they're old. Focus on the more recent stuff, and then it'll be a lot easier on your dollar. Um, I saw Trigon, and it showed up in Phantom Stranger. Yes, Trigon is going to show up in Phantom Stranger. So, do you think that this is also the place Raven will show up? DC said they had big plans for Raven. I don't think it'll be Phantom Stranger, but you never know. They did say they have big plans for her. Have you ever played? I don't even know what that game is. So no, I haven't played it. Sorry, I don't. This guy now. If you could do a Wonder Woman movie, who would you cast for the part, and what villain would you use, and which storyline would you base it off of? Kind of answers it in a way, but Wonder Woman, like Batman, is one of those few characters that no one I will ever pick will ever live up to my mental interpretation of Wonder Woman. However, if I had to pick one, it'd be Mila Jovovich. I think she can act the role well, and she kind of does have a little bit of a resemblance to Wonder Woman. They dye the hair a bit. She could definitely act the role. Who would be the villain? Cersei or Ares? What story would be based off? Gods and Mortals. Although the current Wonder Woman story wouldn't be that bad. Oh, and last one. Last question. Huzzah! What camera do you use for your videos? I use a web camera on my computer. I don't actually know the technical schematics of the web camera, but I use a web camera. So that is all questions and answers. I hope I got everyone's questions and answered them well. I enjoy doing this, and I look forward to doing it again in the future. I've done question and answers quite a few times. So if your question was not answered, chances are you asked it while I was doing this, or I'm fallible. I probably screwed up. So yes, I'm sorry. Save your question for the next question and answer. Okay. I'm gonna end this video here. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.